Connecting hybrid rice to farmers, the Philippine Rice Research Institute Way, or PhilRice. Problem statement. Philippine Rice Research Institute, or PhilRice, is a government corporate entity attached to the Department of Agriculture that aims to develop rice technologies for the Filipino farmers. It has created 257 rice seed varieties since its inception, according to the website page of Database Creation, Analysis and Management Project. In general, these varieties could yield high rice production. Hence, there is a study on the acceptability and adoption of hybrid rice technology among the farmers in Central Luzon, Mananesa, Romanillos, Bumatay 2012. But there is no study on how a government agency such as PhilRice communicates with the farmers to adopt this technology. This is the research gap that the researcher would like to explore. Research problem. How does Philippine Rice Research Institute, or PhilRice, utilize its resources to inform farmers in Nueva Ecija about the use of hybrid rice? Specifically, this study seeks to answer the following research questions. What are the communication strategies employed by PhilRice to inform farmers about the use of hybrid rice? What is the communication flow between PhilRice and the farmers in Nueva Ecija? Who are the gatekeepers of information? Objectives of the study. This study aims the following. 1. To identify communication strategies employed by PhilRice. 2. To analyze the communication flow or process in providing information. 3. To determine the actors in communication and dissemination of information. Theory used. This study will use the theory of diffusion of innovation of Everett Rogers to examine how an idea is communicated to the target adopters. One of the main tenets of this study is to look at the communication channels and the communication flow, which is apparent in informing farmers in Nueva Ecija about the use of hybrid rice. This study will focus on the communication component and not the outcome of adoption. In 1990, Rogers defined diffusion as a process by which an innovation is communicated through certain channels over time among the members of a social system. There are 4 main elements in this theory. The first one is the innovation, which refers to an idea, practice, or object perceived as new. The second one is how it is being communicated over certain channels. Thirdly, the time or how long it takes for the individual to adopt. The last one is a social system where an individual or target adopter is a member. In 1978, Little John mentioned that diffusion researches have been prominent in many other fields such as anthropology, sociology, education, and marketing. There are numerous publications available for these studies. In the field of communication, communication channels by stages in the innovation decision process, characteristics of early and late adopters, and of opinion leaders were some major topics. The researcher will use the theory of diffusion of innovation as a lens for the inquiry since it is suited for an agriculture innovation. Conceptual framework. This diagram shows the conceptual framework of the study based on the diffusion of innovation. PhilRice and its communication channels are the independent variables, while the target adopters are the dependent variables. Methodology. Research design. This study will employ a qualitative descriptive research design to generate answers for the research problems and to achieve the research objectives. This type of research design is appropriate to identify the variables of this study, to characterize the communication channels, and to describe the overall communication process. According to Creswell in 2009, this study will obtain information primarily from interviews with key persons in the field. A qualitative research uses open-ended questions and analyzes interview data. Respondents or participants of the study, focus interviews will be facilitated with the following. Miriam G. Layawen, Division Head, Development Communication Division. Jovina L. De Dios, Division Head, Information Systems Division. Alan B. Wang, Media Contact or Staff. Project managers and staff are the following channels will also be interviewed. PhilRice Text Center, Pinoy Rice Knowledge Bank, Rice Comics, PhilRice web page. Sampling Scheme. A purposive sampling scheme will be facilitated. This non-probability technique encourages a certain criteria for interviews. In 2014, Engel and Schott mentioned that this type of sampling is used in a key informant interviews, targeting knowledgeable individuals about the study. In 1995, Rubin and Rubin also suggested 3 guidelines for selecting informants, to wit, knowledgeable about the cultural arena or situation or experience being studied, willing to talk, represent the range of points of view. These 3 points will be considered by the researcher in conducting the interview. Research instrument. A list of interview questions will be prepared by the researcher for each key informant. It will be a semi-structured interview, since this type of interview would allow additional questions. In 2008, Given defined a semi-structured interview as a qualitative data collection strategy in which the researcher asks informants a series of predetermined but open-ended questions. This approach offers flexibility, as both the researcher and the interviewee could elaborate their ideas regarding the study that are not written in the interview guide questions. The list will include a certain theme or topic to be discussed with the participant. The term participant will be used to capture the active involvement of the person being interviewed and the sense of equity that should be built in an interview relationship. Lastly, the findings of this study will be beneficial to the society because this would help government agencies to explore communication strategies appropriate for farmers. A development program such as the use of hybrid rice in farming can be an example of how we can empower the farmers to try new ways. This study will also help the Philippine Rice Research Institute evaluate their communication and development programs.